Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Christina and today I'm doing something a little different. I got a request from a friend to do a basic face video. So I am just doing basically like foundation and concealer for dummies, kind of. And then I'm gonna throw in some contour and blush and highlight too, just for funsies. So I know I've done introductory things to like some of the products I've used. I've done a lot of I have done a lot of eye looks. So I'm kind of excited to do a very like basic, like this is what you do, this is what you use kind of video. So that's kind of what this video is going to be more of. So if you're here to learn the basics of face makeup, then go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, so the first thing I am going to do is prime my face with the Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cooling Mattifying Primer. I always do this step because it kind of helps everything set in place. And it helps to keep my kind of oily skin more matte throughout the day. Yeah. Next, I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r foundation. This is the Soft Matte Longwear foundation. I love this foundation because it lasts for me all day and it keeps my skin very matte as well. Something that is always something I'm looking for. So for this particular foundation, it dries really fast, so I kind of blend it out in steps. I'm just gonna take my Tarte foundation brush. To blend out foundation, I always use kind of the short fluffy brush, and as opposed to like the big fluffy brush or the kabuki brush, I always use this kind of short, stout, fat little brush guy. And I just blend that all out. And then I keep going and I just do each part of my face in steps. You don't have to do this with every foundation, just with this particular foundation. I find that it blends out easier if I do it in steps just because it dries super fast. And that is how you apply foundation. Very, very simple, very easy. I really like this foundation. Highly recommend it for oily skin types. It's very lightweight, and it doesn't look like there's a ton of foundation on my face, which I find is the case with some of the other mattifying foundations that I've tried. So I really like that about this foundation. I really like that it's full coverage, medium to full coverage, but also doesn't feel like I'm caked in makeup. So the next thing I'm going to do for the basics of face makeup is I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. For concealer, please, 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 please do not blend that in with your fingers. It's not how you're supposed to do it. Not how you're supposed to do it. I just dab it under my eyes to cover up those dark circles. Just 3 dots. And then I just highlight my kind of T-zone areas I'm gonna highlight later, and just brighten up my face. If you have any blemishes, now is the time to cover them up. And then I buff them out with my my blending sponge. I just kind of buff it into my foundation. Super easy. And you do this even if you are covering up acne or spots or scars. You definitely want to blend it in with a sponge. I always just blend my concealer kind of on my eyelid. This isn't a necessary step, but I do that especially because I am oily, like I've said 1,000 times, but it helps my eyeshadow set. It helps my eyeshadow to not crease during the day. Just kind of an extra step that I do, especially for those that don't use any eyeshadow primer. It is a really good idea just to blend the concealer around your eye, and it helps blend out the brightening under your under eye so that it doesn't just have like a hard line and a cut off. And I'm not spreading it with the sponge, I'm just dabbing it. You just want to kind of press it in to your skin. Okay, and that is concealer. Super, super easy. The next step is not really necessary, but I do it, especially during the summer, to kind of give myself another layer of coverage. But I am just gonna go in with the Pure 4-in-1 Pressed Mineral Powder, and I'm gonna take my big fluffy brush this time, and I am just gonna dab that in and then just blend that all over my face, just to kind of blend everything together, soften up any lines that I forgot to blur. If you are not one that uses setting powder, which I am, I use setting powder, but if you don't use setting powder, using just a pressed powder and putting that under your eyes and all around your face is also a good way to set it, especially concealer under your eyes can crease throughout the day if you have bags like I do. So just putting like a light layer of powder underneath can help it to not crease and to last longer. Okay, so before I set my face, I'm gonna do my contour. If you don't contour, this is probably gonna be lost on you, but I am just gonna show you how I contour. I don't use any dark chiseled contour. I just go in very lightly with bronzer because I am so pale that I kind of look scary sometimes with the darker contouring bronzer. So I'm gonna go in with my Too Faced Natural Face Palette, and I am gonna go in with the shade Sunny Honey. I'm gonna go in with the shade Sunny Honey up here in the top corner, and I am gonna go in with my Tarte blending brush. These don't have names, which is like super unfortunate, but this brush from the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Collection, I'm gonna go in with that, and I'm gonna start with my cheekbones. To contour my cheekbones, I always make a fish face. Just because I have a really round face, so I kind of need some help finding them, to be honest. So I am just gonna dab that in, make a fish face, and go from there. See, as I'm doing it, I'm just going in very light. I'm kind of just making a line, and then I'm just blending in a circular motion to kind of blend it out. And I'm building it up very slowly. You'd rather have too little and build it up slower than to go into with too much and then have really terrible lines on your face. All right, and that is about all I do for my cheeks. I also will take the same shade Sunny Honey from the Natural Face Palette with the same brush, and I always dust along my forehead as well. I start right above my eye, on my temple, and just very lightly go in, just to give my face a little bit more dimension. And different bronzers will work for different skin tones. This is just what works for me. I think the other shade in this palette, Tropic Like It's Hot, is quite dark. I can't really use it too much because I am so light. Yeah, so you can see I just go in very lightly just to kind of sculpt my forehead just a tad. And then the last thing I do is just go right along my jawline with the same Tarte Park Avenue Princess brush and the same shade Sunny Honey. I just kind of sculpt out my jawline here. And this one you can't see too much, but it just adds some depth to your jawline and kind of makes you look a little bit more chiseled, especially for folks like me who have a really, really round face. Okay, so next I'm gonna contour my nose. This is a little bit more difficult for those that don't really know how to contour, so just bear with me. I'm gonna take the same shade, Sunny Honey from the Natural Face Palette, and so the brush I use this kind of small angled brush. Any small angled brush will do. This particular brush came with one of my eyeshadow palettes, but I don't really use the brushes that come in eyeshadow palettes too much. I kind of like to use my own brushes. So this one I use to contour my nose. It works. So I just use the brush side of this, and then I am gonna take that shade Sunny Honey, just kind of dab it in, and then I am gonna trace along my nose here and just kind of slim that down, give it some depth, and I do that on both sides. And don't worry, we'll blend this out. It won't look like this. And then I also put some on the tip of my nose just to kind of sculpt out the tip there as well. Okay, so once I do that, I take the littlest Tarte Park Avenue Princess brush in the collection, and I just blend that out as best as I can. If you can see dark lines on your nose, you haven't blended it out enough, so keep going. You shouldn't be able to tell that there's like lines on your face. You should see kind of like a slimming effect, but you shouldn't look like there's dirt on your nose, because that can be kind of what it looks like if you don't blend it enough. And there, and it just kind of gives a little more shape to your face, along with everything. That's kind of the point of contouring. So next I am gonna go in to blush, and I am gonna take the same Natural Face palette from Too Faced, and I am gonna go in with the shade Pink Sand right here, and I am gonna be taking my Real Techniques multitask brush. It's this big pink guy. I always use it for blush. It blends out really nicely. So I'm gonna go in with that Pink Sand shade, and really for blush, you do not need a lot of product. I just dabbed it in twice there, and then I just slowly kind of build up on my cheeks. Again, with this, the same rule applies with blush. You do not want to go in super heavy and just have like a pink blotch on your face. It's better to build it up a little more slowly. That way you don't look like a clown. And one of the things that I do is I just blend it into my contour to kind of take away the brown streak on my face, and so it doesn't look like there's just like two streaks there. And I just go back and forth, making sure they look even. All right, and I tend to go a little bit overboard with blush. I really like blush. I'm pale, so I like to add a little bit of color to my face. But if you do that, it's super easy just to go back in with your pressed powder. I'm gonna take my pure 4-in-1 pressed powder again with my big fluffy brush and just kind of dust along right here on my smile lines, just to blend that in just a little bit. All right, before I do highlight today, I am going to set. My favorite setting powder is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder. I love this stuff. This is my ride or die product. It makes your face look so like perfectly matte in like the best way possible, and it kind of sets your makeup too, like it gives it like a very smooth finished look at the same time. I don't look like there's foundation and concealer on my face. I look like it's just a better version of my face. So I always use this. It's great. It smells like peaches. Try not to inhale because it does taste like peaches too. Not that I found that out the hard way. So I am gonna take my like angled powder brush from the Tarte Park Avenue Princess collection. You really need to put names on these Tarte. I don't know how to talk about them. And I just dump a little bit in the lid. I know a lot of people like to use beauty blenders with setting powder, but I prefer brushes. It just makes it a lot easier. If I was to bake my concealer, then I would be using a blender. But that is a whole nother animal for another day that we won't even get into right now. So I just kind of dust it in there just ever so lightly. And I especially put it under my under eyes this is where I get the most creasing if I don't. So that's where I start. And I really cake it on. You don't need to cake it on this much, but I really like to. I think it looks really pretty and it keeps my makeup looking so perfect throughout the day. And I really just build it up in my T-zone, areas that will get oily that maybe you would have to reapply makeup on throughout the day. That is the places that you really want to focus this. See, like, look at how nice it looks. I think already. I put it on my chin. Yeah, anywhere that's oily. I don't really know what this looks like on dry skin. I can't really attest to that. There are different setting powders for different skin types though, so I encourage you to look into that. But this one is so great for oily skin types. And it's really good too if you're gonna be like outside in the summer, even if you do have dry skin, I guess, and you're gonna be sweating. It really keeps your makeup looking really nice. I wore this when we were up north river tubing in like 100-degree weather, and I wore it down the river, and by the time we got to the end of the river, my makeup still looked good. And it was like 4 hours later in 100-degree weather on a river. So there you go. All right. So once the lid is empty, that's when I stop. I just dump as much as I want into the lid and then just use it all up pretty much right there. So that completes that. I am gonna do highlight right now before I do my eyes and my brows. Normally I do my brows and my eyes first, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it now. So using the same Too Faced Natural Face palette, it's a trend today, I am gonna go in with my Morphe M310 brush, a nice little fan brush, and I am gonna build up my highlight. I'm gonna go in with the shade Satin Sheets right here in the bottom corner, and I just dust that along, and then put that on my cheekbones here. This palette is super great, especially for those just starting out, for somebody who's looking for bronzer, blush, and highlight. If you don't have those already, highly recommend this. It does retail for like, I don't remember, it's like 40 something dollars, correct me if I'm wrong, which can be expensive, but if you think about it, you are getting 6 different compacts basically. Like, they're full size, I mean, you're getting a pretty good deal here. So highly recommend this instead of getting something just by itself, especially for those starting out and still learning. Yeah, so for highlight, I put it along my cheekbones. I put it along my brow, kind of above my brow, so you can like see a little bit of glistening when I turn my head. Ooh, the hair, goodness. And then I take like the edge, go like that, and then I just go straight down my nose. I don't do a lot on my nose just because I am oily, so my nose kind of makes its own highlight throughout the day, which is gross, but sorry if that was TMI. And then I just dust some along the tip of my nose as well. Kind of make it look a little button nose-like. Sometimes if it's not going on as thick as I want to, I'll put my finger in and just kind of go boop. And yeah. And then I'll blend that out so it doesn't look like I did that. And then I also put some on my Cupid's bow for a nice shine stash. And that is all that I put highlight. I do put highlight also on my brow bone and on my inner corner, but that is for another day because I need to go do my eyes first. So I am gonna finish up my eyes and my brows and everything and my lips off camera, and I will be right back. Whew. All right, and that completes this look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I plan on doing more of these like basics videos, kind of like maybe do like a basic eye look and just the basics of applying eyeshadow, the basics of brows, mascara, lips, all that fun nonsense. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.